Choked by the ash of a dozen waking volcanoes, the great jungle is now slowly dying today.
Trees that have stood for millennia are snapping under the weight of massive and sudden tectonic shifts. The air is thick with the scent of sulfur and ozone as the entire ecosystem begins failing. This is the jungle apocalypse, a world where laws of nature are replaced by laws of desperation. In the heart of this crumbling paradise, a rivalry is about to reach its final terminal point. King Kong moves through the falling ash like a ghost of the old world, seeking new ground.
He is larger, more rugged, and far more dangerous than ever before in this harsh, changing environment.
His fur is singed, and his body is a roadmap of recent scars from many past battles. He isn't hunting for food. He is fighting for a foothold on a rapidly dying volcanic island. As he steps into the shadow basin, a valley flooded with boiling mud and blackened rain falls.
He realizes he is not the only king looking for a way out of this crumbling landscape.
From the swirling darkness of the flooded undergrowth, the titan Anaconda emerges to face the great ape.
This is not the serpent of the swamps. It is a mutated nightmare of the island apocalypse.
Its scales are hardened by volcanic minerals, and its size doubled by the island's dying energy sources. It is 60 feet of liquid muscle, moving with a predatory silence that defies the crashing thunder.
The serpent doesn't hiss. It breathes with a low, wet rasp that vibrates through the very ground.
The battle begins without a warning roar, as the Anaconda strikes like a whip of dark obsidian.
Its massive head slams into Kong's chest, before the great ape can raise his protective defensive guard. The force of the impact sends Kong spiraling into a pit of boiling and bubbling volcanic mud.
Before he can recover, the serpent is on him in the apocalyptic gloom of the flooded basin.
The coils of the Anaconda look like living shadows, wrapping around Kong's arms and neck very quickly now.
The serpent raps with the speed of a closing trap, aiming to suffocate the powerful great ape.
Kong roars, a sound of pure, unadulterated defiance that drowns out the nearby massive volcanic eruptions occurring.
He digs his massive heels into the burning earth, his muscles bulging until they threaten to tear.
The pressure is astronomical, and the Anaconda is trying to squeeze the literal life fire out of the king.
The sound of Kong's ribs straining against the scales is a sickening counterpoint to the howling wind. But Kong is a creature of iron will who refuses to let the predator win this battle.
He reaches out, grabbing a jagged, white-hot shard of volcanic rock that has fallen from the sky.
With a guttural grunt, he drives the glowing stone into the serpent's midsection with all his strength.
This is the opening Kong needed to regain his footing and turn the tide of the fight.
He unwinds himself with a violent, spinning heave, grabbing the serpent by the neck with both hands. The two titans crash through a stand of burning redwoods, a chaotic blur of fur and scales. Kong finds his footing on a ledge of solid basalt and hoists the serpent into the air.
With a roar that shakes the very foundations of the valley, he slams the Anaconda down hard. He slams the Anaconda against the jagged remains of a fallen spire with devastating and crushing force.
The serpent thrashes, its tail whipping through the air and shattering boulders, but Kong does not release. He pins the anaconda's head against the stone and delivers hammer fists that echo like loud artillery fire.
With one final, earth-shattering blow, the great ape sunders the serpent's skull against the volcanic rock ledge.
The Titan Anaconda goes limp, its massive body sliding into the boiling mud of the lower basin. Kong stands alone in the rain of ash, his chest heaving after the grueling life or death. His silhouette is illuminated by the orange glow of the distant lava flows as he stands victorious.
He has won the battle, but the apocalypse is still coming for the residents of Skull Island.
He looks toward the horizon, raises his blood-stained fists, and lets out a roar of absolute sovereignty. The jungle may be dying, but the king is still alive and dominant over his territory today.
The predator has fallen, and the ecosystem of Skull Island continues its rapid and violent descent tonight.
Kong moves onward, seeking a safe haven as the island's tectonic shifts continue to reshape the land.
The destruction is total, yet the resilience of the island's titans remains a spectacle of primal force. While many species flee or perish, the strongest remain to face the end of their ancient world. The physical environment is transformed by heat and pressure, creating a new landscape of rock and ash.
Climbing higher, the great ape searches for a vantage point to assess the damage to the jungle.
From this height, the destruction of the great jungle is visible as smoke hides the green canopy.
A few pockets of life persist in hidden corners, sheltered from the direct path of the lava.
The king finds temporary shelter in a grove that has escaped the initial wave of volcanic destruction.
Resting briefly, the ape maintains his vigilance, knowing that other predators are also seeking this rare sanctuary.
Life on a smaller scale continues its struggle, oblivious to the titan battles occurring across the island.
Heavy rain begins to fall, offering a brief respite from the choking dust and falling volcanic ash. He drinks from the rainfall, replenishing his strength for the challenges that lie ahead on Skull Island.
The storm intensifies as lightning strikes the peaks, adding to the chaotic energy of the island's end. Another tremor shakes the island, signaling that the tectonic shifts are far from over this long night. The earth continues to split, claiming the last refuges of the jungle as the apocalypse moves forward. Realizing the danger, Kong moves back into the open, facing the elements with his usual stoic resolve.
Smaller animals huddle in fear, looking to the great ape as he passes through the burning landscape.
His focus is singular. He must reach the highest peak to survive the coming flood of lava.
Lava flows into the rivers, transforming the water into steam and destroying the island's fresh water sources.
He leaps across the divide, narrowly avoiding the molten rock that now defines the valley's new floor.
The final mountain stands before him, a dark spire that offers the only hope for survival now.
He begins the ascent, climbing into the cold air as the heat of the island rises behind.
Looking back, he sees the shadow basin engulfed in fire, the site of his victory now gone.
The darkness is almost total as ash clouds block the sun, leaving the island in eternal twilight.
Reaching the summit, the king finds the ruins of an old world that once shared this island.
He stands among the stone sentinels, a living king in a cemetery of gods and lost civilizations.
A single hawk circles above, the only witness to the king's final stand against the island's end.
He takes his seat on the highest point, watching as the world he knew is slowly consumed.